Hi, I'm James with British Customs. Today I'm going to show you how to install the retro bar on this 2024 Speed Twin 1200. Alright, so before we install the retro bars, I'm going to show you a quick little trick to find your center so you know exactly where to install them. You can use these pretty much on any bar that you're trying to find center on. But I just measure from the very bottom corner here to the very bottom corner there. Come up with 28 1/4, which means I'm at 14 1/16. So now I can just lay a square across there, 14 1/16, and make my mark. So there you go, there's my center mark. So now I can just measure between my two risers equal distance and I got my center. All right, so now before you put your bars down, you want to make sure you lay down a towel. At this point, you should have already watched the video. If not, go back and see how to install the risers, how to remove your handlebar, how to remove the stock risers, install our risers. And now you're ready to put your bar on. The retro bar, there's a top and a bottom. The center part, when you lay it flat down on a table, this part should be up in the air. So if you have it this way and then there's a big gap there, then you have them upside down. So when we go like that, we already made our center mark. So now to find center, we just want to measure in between our risers. We got 2 3/4 of an inch, so 1 3/8 will be our center. That's right where we're at, right there. Okay, now we can put our top clamps on. Again, I like the dot to match the dot on the riser. Using our 5mm Allen. Just start the bolts in. So I like to stick a washer on one side. So this way, when I tighten down on the other side also, over here I'll have the washer. They'll both be equal gaps. Do the same on this side. So right now, while we have these bars tilted down like this, before we set them in to a riding position, I want to slide our throttle sensor on here. If you move this up, it might be too far to get this on there. Otherwise, the other option is to just put it on before you put the bars into the risers. So now we want to make sure we got that set in there properly. Get on there, the full spin there. So now we can tilt our bars up where we need to go. So now we just want to snug these up a little bit. And we're going to check this measurement again, make sure we're still super close to center. And then we're going to sit on the bike and adjust it for our riding position. So we're still at 1 3/8, so we can keep going from here. So good place to start before even getting on the bike is just try and set these close to level. Tighten it so they don't move. That feels pretty good right there. I'm going to lock it down right there. I'm just tightening the back screws here because I don't want to change my gap in the front right now. Okay. So now we want to tighten up all these bolts here. Final tighten is 10 Newton meters, but I like to go 5 Newton meters first and then finish off at 10 Newton meters. I want to do it in a cross pattern. So we want to remove this strap over here for now. And we are going to remove our clutch cable from the wire guide in there. Now we can install a cable. Our clutch cable perch. Use our 5mm Allen. This here should end up approximately 8 1/4 from this end to this end of the bar. So we just want to get our grip installed. So we're going to put our clamp on here. Make sure that the up right there is pointed up. And when this is tightened down, it should end up approximately 8 3/4 from this end to the end of the bar. So now we just want to adjust our lever riding position. This clutch actually feels pretty good. The brake side needs to go down a little bit, so I'm going to loosen that a bit. Okay. Tighten that down. Okay. So now we just want to lay down a piece of tape here so we can make our marks to drill. First mark I want to do is for this one here, which is going to end up right in there. So we want to take our marker. This is what we need to drill the hole for. So we're going to get a bunch of marker on that. Then we're going to transfer that mark onto the tape. So just make sure this is right where it's supposed to be at the end of the bar. Make sure it's in line. This hole should be in a line with that line there. Put that there. I'll give it a good push. And there's our mark right there. So you can see in between the two marks, that's like the center right there where it doesn't actually make contact. So that's where I want to lay my center punch in. So now for drilling this hole, you could lay down a center punch and do it freehand. If I was going to do that, I'd make an even heavier center punch in there just to keep the drill from walking, and I would start with a smaller drill bit and then go up from there in size. But for us, we're going to use this kit right here. It's a tool from LSL. It has a drill bushing here that will keep our drill from going anywhere but where we want it to be. So using our 5mm wrench, we get the center punch mark lined up right in the center of that drill bushing. Try that again. Snug these up a little bit first. Okay. When you're using this tool, the more even you can keep these spaces here, the straighter in your drill bit's going to go, which will help it cut a little easier. Start off with a number 9 drill bit. If you don't have a number 9, a 3/16 will work. I'll finish this off with a number 4. If you don't have a number 4, you can use a 7/32. It's a little bit bigger than a 4. Right there, that's where we want that. Perfect. So now we can make the mark for our switch housing, which is going to be right in there, like that. So again, we want to put some marker on the point we need to drill. That where she's got to go. This line's going to end up slightly off the center of that line. Push it in there. I got our mark right there. What we'll need to do now is move this so we can get our tools in there. So we're going to make a little mark right there, just so we know where to put it back. So we can loosen this up. just making it just a little snug, keep it from moving around. So we're going to go to the mark here. My center punch. Get our tool on here. The number 9. Number 4. Okay. This guy back. Okay, put this guy back on the mark. May not be perfect, but it'll be super close. We can readjust it once we're all done. So now, put this guy on here. That there. Our Phillips head screws. Number 2 Phillips head screwdriver. Slide this into place. Again with the number 2 Phillips head. Use a little shorter screwdriver to fit in between the tank here. Not a problem if you're doing this on the floor. You can turn the wheel. Okay, so I'm going to put some tape over here. Let's go right there. It's the spot we need to make a mark for. Color that in. And this should be in the same line as that, just offset. You know, these should both be parallel with each other there. Push it. And make a better mark than that. Get a little more. There we go. So now we'll center punch the center of that mark. Whoa. Now we're going to install our tool. Center punch mark lined up. Oh. So now we just want to make a mark where this is here. I'm going to turn that down a little bit, get it right out of the way. So now we can take this off. Now we use our number 4 drill. Put our screws in. The number 2 Phillips head. Put this back now. Okay. Okay, now we can put this strap back on here. Okay. So that's it for the retro handlebar install. As you can see, not a big deal. All the cables stay the same as long as you use our kit with our risers. If you use some aftermarket risers, it may not work. You can't do this with the stock risers. These bars will not fit in the stock riser. As far as drilling the holes, that's probably the hardest part. You want to make sure that you get it as close to perfect as you can first time around, right where you want to be riding, so that everything ends up in line and you don't have to move these. Once you have them close to perfect, then you can fine-tune your levers and your handlebar position without having to change these. So that's it. Not really that big of a deal. Thanks for watching.